Hello, gentlemen. All your base are belong to us. You have no choice to survive, make your time. I actually watched that video for the first time in a really long time, and it was surprisingly still really funny to me. I don't know, there's something so endearing about horribly translated things that just really make me laugh. So with that said, my friends, welcome back. This is your host, LovelyCheesePizza. Here we're playing some more Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, where in the previous installment, we were able to knock out dungeon number 4 here in the dilapidated town that was once a thriving metropolis. It's actually extremely small, so maybe not a thriving metropolis, but it was still a successful young town that went totally to shit in the Dark World. So we had to conquer that whole deal, and then we're gonna head to dungeon number 5. But before we do that, there are some things that need to be done. One of which involves me going in here. I've been trying to get this done for a while, and I kept forgetting where the place was, and it's totally right here. You go and fall into the hole right here, and you get dropped into the little, you know, Fran Fragiliac down here, which don't even bother questioning what the fuck that is, because I don't know. I'm just making up words and throwing them. So you go in here, and this guy comes out, and he's like, "What the fuck, man? You can't throw powder into my soup. It's wrong. Now the flavor profile is never gonna be right. It took me 48 years to make this thing. Hey, blast you from waking me from my deep, dark sleep. I was swimming in rivers of hot chocolate, and it was like heroin. It was delicious. I have a horrible addiction problem, I'm sorry. I mean, thanks a lot, sir. But now, I will get my revenge on you. Get ready for it. Is that okay with you, sir? Of course it is. Let me use my awesome electric abilities that nobody even knew that I had. I laugh at your misfortune. Now your magic power will drop by 1/2. Congratulations. Now, do your best, even though I'm sure it won't be enough. Have a nice day. See you later. He's like sitting here making like all these remarks about how he's gonna totally screw us over, and now he's like, "Oh, have a nice day, by the way." So now, like when I was a little kid, when I saw the half thing come up, I thought it was like, "Oh shit, man, I wasn't supposed to go in there." He like actually cut my magic down by half, so like I only have half as much. And then, you know, later on I totally realized, oh wait a minute, we totally have, you know, way more than that. We actually have double. It's kind of weird how, you know, how they word that. Like, you would think instead of saying half that it would have said like DBL for double, like you have, or like 2x instead. Like, it's like, oh, you have twice as much now. But you know what? They like to make things hard on you that way. So the other thing that we want to do before we go and head into dungeon number 5, which I don't even know if it's actually a required item for it, but you know, I might as well have it before I forget about it and end up not having it. So let's do this real quick, just because I don't remember what's down here. I just knew that it was a thing. What have you for me, sir? You can earn a lot of rupees by defeating enemies. It's the secret of my success, even though I've never defeated anybody. I just wait until their back is turned and steal all the rupees out of their pockets. Which you would think that they would totally know that somebody was stealing all those because rupees are fucking huge. Like, if somebody was taking any of those out of my pocket, I would totally know. But who knows? Maybe they're, like, desensitized. Maybe they're just like, they're so caught up in whatever else it is that they're doing that they're like, oh, well, I couldn't totally feel somebody take that out of my pocket, and now we have the ice rod. Totally awesome. It's chill magic, blast the air. But watch your magic meter, yo. I mean, I wonder if it's, instead of like using magic to like freeze people, it just, you shoot it at them and they just like spawns a couch and they just totally like go and chill on it. They like call in an order to like Domino's or something. It's just like they forcibly have to do it. So even if they hate Domino's, they're fucked. They got to do it anyways. It's out of their control. Is this a teleportation one by chance? It is not. The question is there a teleport tile nearby? I truthfully do not know that information. It would be nice to know though, because we're really close to where that is. I think there might be, actually. Now that I think back on this, there's a strong possibility that there totally is one of those. Okay, let me think about this. It's, okay, actually, you know what? We can just go jump in the water and go for a nice brisk little swim. A little swimmy swim. That thing almost got me in the face. So, I apologize, guys. I definitely wanted to film one of these last night, but the last couple of days have been extremely stressful and all bad. And so, I'll tell you kind of the story. So, just so as you know, kind of what's been going on in the world over the last couple of days. So a lot of stuff happened. Namely, one of the things that happened is we had to take my grandma to the hospital on, well, that would have been on Tuesday. We had to take her in. Oh, you fucker! You can't just go stealing my stuff. I mean, if you wanna use some of it, just ask me. You don't have to sit here and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking take one of your bombs, you dick." Oh, great! I can't wait to hear what the root beer man has to say. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, you have to use the fire rod on those guys. That's the only thing that makes them go away. Ed, the magic flames will protect you inside this icy dungeon. However, I don't have an opposition to ice because I love an icy cold glass of root beer. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, so we had to take her to the hospital. She was complaining of like digestive discomfort. Like she wasn't even like able to sit up, you know, very well because there was just so much pain going on that it was driving her nuts. So we tried calling urgent care, and they actually, at the time that we tried to do it, they were actually closing. So that wasn't going to help out at all. Which urgent care closing at 7 p.m. It just seems very counterintuitive. You think you would want to be open later than that, but I mean I get it. They're not a hospital, so. You know, obviously they can't be open all fucking day long, so it is what it is. So we decide, you know what, it probably isn't smart for us to sit here and like wait this out, because you know, what if it gets significantly worse? You know, then we're trying to go to the hospital at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's not exactly the best time to do that. It seems like whenever you go to the hospital really late at night, there's always a fucking billion people in there, and it all turns bad from there. So, God, I hate this dungeon so much. I hate icy things. I hate when you're trying to move somewhere and it just doesn't want to cooperate. it's all bad. Ugh. But with that, so we decided to take her down to the ER, and they had to do some tests on her, and they ended up keeping her overnight. And what they found out was she actually, and I don't mean to be too graphic here because I'm sure that a number of you probably don't want to go way too far into this, but she had a bowel obstruction, which is never a good thing. I mean, if we're really getting into, you know, Adam's health tips where you learn shit whether you like it or not. What happens when you have bowel obstructions? I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, but what can happen if you don't take care of that? Like, especially at that age, if you don't take care of that type of thing, what can happen is your body, like all of the waste that's in your colon, if you don't get that stuff taken out, like your body, like you run the risk of your body essentially like reabsorbing all of it. Which reabsorption is super bad, and you can get septicemia, which can be totally lethal if not taken care of. So, super bad. So we're like, okay, because of how this is, you know, we're gonna have to do surgery in order to, you know, remedy the problem here. And so, you know, she was kind of apprehensive on it. And then when they told her, like, look, if you don't do this, like, you could die. And so she's like, well, I mean, I definitely don't want to die. So she's like, hey, Thanksgiving's coming up. I totally want to still be alive for that. And not to mention Christmas too, you know. So she's like, all right, you know, I'm not really a fan of going under the knife, but you know, what choice do you have here? So she agreed to do it. They did the surgery yesterday morning, of which, I mean, when you're that age, like you always worry about, you know, how well a surgery is going to go over, you know, when you're that age, because your body totally doesn't really, you know, work out the same way. And so, you know, you always, oh no, damn it. Fine. You know what? I'll just leave it right there. I'll just leave it right there for you. Is that what you needed? Thank God. I really hope I didn't have to kill everybody in there. That'll be That'll be sizably annoying. Oh, not the Stalfos. God, I hate this guy. It's fine. You gotta hit him in the legs and make him into a pile of shit and then blow him up. And then sometimes he comps it back to you. You cannot destroy the Skeleton Knight with the sword alone. When he collapses, he is vulnerable to another weapon. I won't tell you what weapon that is, but I know it. Like, why wouldn't he tell you that? Obviously, he's experienced that before. So he's like, well, you know, I'll tell him that another weapon can do it, but I want him to have to figure it out. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and tell this guy all the secrets. Then, you know, he'd surpass me, and then he'd never come back and ask me for things ever again, and I can't have that. I'm a kind of a lonely guy, so, you know, I need to have visitors every once in a while. So anywho, so she did the surgery, and everything actually went over surprisingly well. That the doctors were actually very pleased with how it all went over. So they got to do that whole thing. They ended up putting her on the morphines, which I've never had morphine before, but you know, it is, after all, as they call it, the fuck it drug. It's just when you're on it, I mean, somebody could cut your leg off and you probably wouldn't feel bad about it. They're like, I'm gonna saw your fucking leg off, and they're like, you're just like, good, go right ahead. Just as long as you don't get in front of the TV, I could totally care less what happens in that situation. Just hey, you know what? Don't make noise on the way out. Okay, I really don't like this room. The fire sticks, man. As if they weren't menacing enough in Super Mario games. Now they gotta be a menace here. I mean, they're not as bad as the Phantom Menace. That was like one of the worst things ever. But you know, that's besides the point. So it was a very stressful last couple of days. I mean, I always you know, I always try to see the positives, you know, in these types of things when people go to the hospital. Of which, I mean, I absolutely hate hospitals. It is arguably my least favorite building to ever be in. It's never, if not for, you know, like all the weird paranormal shit that goes on in hospitals, it's just the fact that hospitals just radiate death, man. Like, I know there's a lot of lives that are saved in there, but there's probably, I would assume, a fairly equal to maybe higher percentage of people not surviving in there. And so that's my big thing. I don't know, somebody's probably gonna crunch numbers and be like, hey Adam, you're fucking stupid, man. There's like a way higher survival rate in there than there is death. So, you know, maybe you should just stop fucking freaking out about nothing, you know? But you know what? That's been my thing for a long time, and I stick with that. Just the concept of death, I'm not a fan of it. God, go down the stairs, you idiot! Oh my god. Oh, you're killing me. Just go down there. There we go. Jeezimus. I mean, just right when you think it couldn't get any more insane in there. Now, is there not... I could swear that, like, one of these floors you can bomb them and it takes you to, like, a secret area. Maybe I'm, like, way off my hinges here. Actually, you know what? That takes you to the big chest. But we don't have the big key yet. Alright, well, I guess we're going there. Good. Oh, no, it goes right there. Oh, yes, okay, so that's how you get to it. Now we know. Knowing's half the battle. So, yeah, dude, it was just a stressful time. It was not good. And then... To top it all off, also, I found out, you know, other information about, you know, other people that I know that, you know, they've got, like, family members that, like, somebody who I hold very near and dear to me, her uncle actually got diagnosed with ALS, or, that's Lou Gehrig's disease, I believe, and so, with that, oh no, oh god, with that, I mean, it's an extremely debilitating disease, where it is terminal. I mean, it's definitely not one that, you know, that there's a cure for. When you get it, I mean, that's gonna be the end of it at some point. So, and it's horrible. I mean, the quality of life during that is just terrible. And so, so a lot of people, they just, you know, they go out quickly. Like, my dad had a friend that had ALS, and he ended up dying in like a matter of months. Like, it was fast. It was really, really fast, and like nobody really saw that coming because people just didn't really know as much about it in those times. God, fucking stop doing all that. Just go there. And so with that knowledge, I mean, she's been having a really, really hard time with that. As if there weren't a lot of other things going on in her life already that make that even harder. That's just, it makes you sad when people just have, like, all of these things just kind of cascade on top of them all at once. It's like, you know, it'd be bad enough with just having to deal with, you know, like, your job being hard or having a rough time, you know, trying to get, like, your degree at school, but then when you have knowledge that, like, family members that you're close with are dying of a terminal disease that there's no cure for, you're just like, well, what the hell am I supposed, like, how are you supposed to have any positivity in that, you know? It's hard. Life is a very hard thing, you know? And so, you know, if you're ever stressing out about stuff like that, don't keep that to yourself, you know? Like, tell people when you're going through hard things like that. It's never worth trying to think that you got to go and handle all that on your own, because you know, spoiler, it's way harder to try to do all that on your own. And like, don't feel like you're burdening people if you have to talk about stuff like that. Like, you're never burdening somebody by talking about important matters like that. That, you know, because there are people, you know, when they feel like they can't handle it on their own, like, that's when they start resorting to potentially dangerous things, you know, whether it be alcohol or it be, you know, this, that, and the other. So, you know, don't take situations like that lightly. And also, never go on clinical antidepressants either. My dear God, I've had so many friends that, like, when they start stressing out really bad, and they, you know, they're in really low spirits about things, oh, God damn it. They'll go and talk to, like, a counselor, and their counselor will be like, oh, well, let's put you on fucking Zoloft or you know, other similar things. And it's like, oh, well, guess what? You know, you won't feel the pain of all the stuff you're going through, but guess what? You're not going to feel fucking anything. You're really not going to feel anything at all. So, you know, about that whole thing, it's there are better ways, you know. Oh, yeah, we need to get do we have the cape? We do have the cape. Alright, we can totally just walk right over that if we ever feel like we want to. This is good news. Sorry for going on that weird, like, public service announcement for you know, for depression and stress and all these things. That wasn't really where I thought this was going to go, but, you know, that is important, though. It is very important. So, yeah, that's kind of how, you know, the last few days have gone. It's been a very stressful time, but trying to keep the positivity at an all-time high at any time that I can. Okay, so where have we been? Where have we not been? This dungeon is such a clusterfuck, man. You feel like you've gone into the same room like a billion times, and it's the worst. Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! That's not what I wanted. That's the thing with this room. Good. All right. Yeah, that's really where I totally wanted to come right back in here. It's exactly what I wanted, to the highest extent of everything. Oh, damn it. It's a good thing that our life bar is as high up as it is. Which, I also really can't wait to get the big item in this dungeon. It's totally, what is it, the blue mail? That's like the stuff, man. It's gonna really reduce our damage taken, which I'm really excited about that. I couldn't even explain it all to you properly. So let's at least get up here. We'll call this episode a whole thing here. I don't really know what that even means. We're going to call it a whole thing. I could have said we can call it a wrap, but I guess calling an episode a whole thing seems to be a better option. So let's at least do this and go pull the lever 2000 on the whole deal there. We'll let that diffuse itself. We're certainly having no shortage of keys, which I'm certainly down with that. Oh, come on. Yeah, suck on one of these, you ball sack. And then, yeah! Pulling on a giant tongue. That's the thing. That's how you get things to work out in this place. All right, we do have the map now. This is good. All right, my friends. Well, you know what? We're gonna stop right here. When we come back on the next installment of Let's Play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, we're going to continue traversing through this hellhole and see just how far down the rabbit hole we can go. And we still gotta find the big key, but we will find it. We will find it, and we will kill it. And then we'll figure it out. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Take care.